What's that you say? I didn't hear you. Ghosted by your confidence? Well, here's how to reconnect to your confidence again, because this is literally imposter syndrome and your confidence has ghosted you. So listen up, because the first point will be just as important as the last, and we're going to talk about the problem. Here's the problem. I want you to imagine this or visualize it in your head. You're absolutely crushing it on the job, but inside, you're shrinking like your favorite Christmas sweater after it's undergone several washes. And you know what? You're tired. You're tired of putting on a facade. You landed the job, you got the promotion, maybe even got that rare pat on the back of nice job. It's so awkward when it came from the boss and it felt weird. You're winning, but inside that tiny little relentless voice that goes off, it's whispering. But then that whisper turns into a scream. It's sometimes they don't really know the real you. And you know what? Sooner or later, they're going to find out. They're going to find out who you really are. That's the whole point. That brings us to imposter syndrome. You're successful, and yet you feel like a secret agent looking over both shoulders all the time, constantly watching your back, waiting for that one moment that someone might actually blow your cover. Uh-oh. It's exhausting. And you know what? It's isolating. I hate to put it that way. But here's the big what if, just what if, imagine this. Imagine if that voice inside your head isn't your enemy. It's just a confused backseat driver with no GPS or sense of direction. That's the kick. That inner critic is not out to sabotage you. It's trying to get you from point A to point B. It's your brain's outdated emotional security system that's just going off, trying and failing. That's what's happened. It's failing to keep you safe by shrinking your spotlight. You suddenly shrink in the spotlight when you'd actually need to stand in your confidence, stand in your power, despite of what other people think. It's like running Windows 95 on a MacBook Pro and it's lagging, confused, and definitely missing the latest updates. So here's the truth bomb. You do belong in that spotlight. You do belong where in a place where you step into your power. There's no accidents. They're real situation. And that little voice, it hasn't gotten the memo yet. And it's time to actually silence that inner critic, but we have to be able to do it smart and intelligently. Imagine this scenario, the unsuccessful way. Picture this. You got a big presentation tomorrow, right? You're ready for it. You're excited, maybe a little bit of nervousness. Instead of owning it, you obsess. You triple check every slide in the presentation. You rehearse until you sound like an absolute robot on caffeine. And you spend the night worrying over a single typo that maybe no one else will actually notice. So when the big moment actually comes, you shrink, you become small, you mumble, you deflect. You deflect the compliments that might actually come towards you, like there's some kind of trap making you feel uncomfortable. You walk out feeling like you've just survived a bear attack, when in actuality, it really was just a presentation, minus the bear, and plus all the anxiety. In the room, it feels heavy. The spotlight, too, and your confidence, ghosted, completely ghosted. So, what's the tension in all this? Well, there's a lot of tension. You know why? Because you are stuck on the hamster wheel, over preparing, overthinking, dodging the spotlight, and turning compliments into it wasn't really anything. Well, you train like you're prepping for the Olympics, getting caught in front of a million people. Yet that doesn't make sense, but somehow you try to pull that off. And compliments, you hear them, but you shove them in the emotional trash and scrape them away like they're nothing. And the spotlight, you avoid it. You avoid it like a bad ex at your local college party. And you know what? Here's the secret. That's exactly what that little voice wants. It wants you small. It wants you to shrink. You have to shine like the sun. Step in your power, step in your confidence, get out there and just do it. You're going to have to manage your mind first, because it's that voice. That voice would rather see you hiding behind a curtain than to actually standing center stage. If you've prepared for a million times, you should be able to deliver it and breathe through it. If you're feeling that anxiety, you've got to breathe through it. It's time to flip that script and ghost your ghoster. Be able to reframe those negative thoughts, expose those negative thoughts to yourself, and literally adjust what that truth is. Change the truth of what it means to you. You control what things mean to you. So it's time for you to reframe that voice, reframe that inner critic. It's not just your enemy, overprotective, slightly a paranoid friend that's like stuck in the past, trying to keep you safe by playing small. Expose it gently to yourself. It doesn't have to be exposed to everybody else. Write down what those doubts are, exactly as they come, no filter. Then become a little bit of a detective. Who planted that idea? All beliefs come from outside of you. They didn't come from within you. You weren't born with them. Every belief that you have was somehow adopted from the outside. So who planted that idea? Where did it come from? Is this really true now? That's the next question. What would I say to my best friend if I actually cared about them and if they felt this way? The next thing to do is you got to integrate that. Don't exile all of those feelings and thoughts. Don't banish that voice into the shadow realm. Invite it to coffee. Sit down, have a discussion. Show it who you are now. Upgrade yourself. Upgrade your thinking. Upgrade your mind. Your mind is like a software. And recognize your growth. It's a part of your growth. You are growing, shaping, and changing. And record your truth. If you do something successful, write it down. Keep a proof of awesomeness journal. Collect the wins. Collect the kind words. Understand those moments when you've actually showed up scared and you still crushed it and did it anyway. You need to write that down because you're going to have to build that undeniable case against that little liar that's in your head. So what's the big insight in all of this? What if the voice in your head isn't lying? It's just stuck on the wrong channel. Maybe it's not evil or cruel. Maybe it's just trapped in reruns from old memories from the past. And maybe it's playing an old episode of when you weren't quite ready yet. It hasn't caught up to your current level of awesome. And guess what? You're the one holding the remote control that can change that channel at any point in time. You can change the channel at any moment. So guess what? If this hit home with you today, hit follow, leave a comment, and share this with somebody who actually needs to hear it, whose confidence might be getting the best of them or might be ghosting them, and it might be too late. Your voice deserves the spotlight, loud and clear. Stand in your power. And guess what? You cannot shine bright if you're sitting on someone else's sun. So it's time for you to shine and stand in your confidence. I'll see you on the next video.